Hello everyone, Derek Stam Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. As you can clearly tell, we've got the Top Picks Logan Paul figure, and whether I'm a fan or not of Logan Paul, the person, I will fully admit that him as a wrestler, he is good in the ring, and he can cut a fairly decent promo. I'd say he's definitely better than Ricochet and a lot of other names that really don't cut great promos. Ricochet just tends to come to mind because there's a promo that I want to say it was in a Botchamania clip I was watching where he had the long hair and it just felt all wonky and stuff. Well, either way, my bad. Either way, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, this Logan Paul is loose, so we can just get straight in to all the accessories. Of course, first things first, we've got 3 different sets of hands. I do definitely believe he should have at least came with 4. And what do I mean by that? Well, if I can remember where I put it. Oh, there it is. This kind of hand, the choke slammy hand, this should have been like at least one hand to, hold the prime bottle here, like in the thumbnail, because I pre-took the thumbnail this time, so I know about it. Anyways, still a nice accessory. We'll get into that here in a minute, but he does at least come with 3 sets of hands. You've got the mic holding hands, which is what they expected you to put this in. You've got a set of fist hands, and you've got a set of pointer finger hands so he could pick his nose and do all that good stuff that Logan Paul probably likes to do behind the scenes. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. The main thing here, besides the jacket, of course, would be this prime bottle. So we're going to get into this first because it is tiny. Of course, there's no nutrition facts or anything on it. Pretty much the same sculpt as the clear water bottle that you would see with a Triple H figure, but it's not clear, obviously. If my camera would focus on it, you would see though it does have a little white stripe underneath the cap. You've got the Prime logo and stuff there. It's all looking fairly nice. The jacket, it looks really nice too. It's got a nice glossy feeling to it. It says Paul on the back because that's his name, Logan Paul, duh. You've got the nice yellow and blue combo here, which is kind of why I went out of my way to get this one, knowing that we do have that new Top Picks that came out, which that's kind of a funny thing to think about. He had a Mattel Creations Ultimate Edition, this figure, and then he comes out with another Top Picks figure. So it only seems like besides a few basic figures, all of his major figures, I at least would say the Elites and Ultimates are major figures, are all in specialty waves. So the Top Picks wave, and knowing our luck because he's been doing a lot of pay-per-views, we'll see him in Royal Rumble or Survivor Series or some type of shit like that, Build-A-Figure waves, because he does come out with some pretty flashy gear, I can't lie. And speaking of the flashy gear, we went over the nice flashy entrance jacket. Now it's time to get into his in-ring gear itself, and I do really love the yellow, black, and blue combo. I think it just works really well. Of course, first time having a Logan Paul in hand. The head scan, I can definitely say, is fairly on point from what I've seen on WWE TV, because mind you, didn't really follow him when he was a YouTube megastar and doing all the different shit on YouTube. Of course, I heard of some of the controversies, him going to Japan, which he likes to reference in the, what is his podcast? Because I will say, when he does have wrestlers on his podcast, I do watch Impulsive. There we go. I just remembered it. But anyways, that doesn't really matter. What he did in Japan, I'm not saying that isn't important, but he likes to, act like it never happened, and I can't blame him, except for when he's on the podcast that I'm aware of, because I know Dominic Mysterio mentioned it. Either way, why am I essentially trying to give you reasons to go watch Logan Paul? He's got the blue headband up here, which is also a nice addition to this head scan. I do like the way the facial hair and the hair looks. The elbow pads are pretty dank as well, I would say. You got the tri-colored elbow pad with the yellow, black, and the blue. And same thing on the other side, and they are facing the same way color-wise, so the blue is sitting exactly the same. I don't know if that's accurate or not. You'd have to let me know, because I can't exactly remember. But when it comes down to the tights itself, you've got the crotch piece, which I feel like that easily could have been sculpted, but that's whatever. You've got the nice blue stripes and the blue front face on the leg. The blue that goes into the knee pad with the little bit of yellow and black on the back. The little bit of yellow that's on the back of the kick pad and on the front end of this one kick pad here. And a little bit on the toes here. And you can see there is a blue stripe on this one, and it has a blue backing. And this one is just all yellow and black, so there's no blue on this knee pad, which is kind of an interesting thing to note. But all around, I do dig how this attire looks. And now getting into the articulation, I can tell you he does move fairly good for an elite figure of the Vietnam era. And I say it like that because a lot of figures have problems, but so far the wrists are moving well, the arms are bending fine, the shoulders are moving smooth, the upper bicep not giving me any trouble. Yeah, neither side is giving me trouble. Ab crunch is phenomenal. Of course, this torso has really good ab crunch usually, though sometimes it does tend to get a little loose. The double jointed knees, of course, are a grandiose touch. You've got the upper thigh cut, and because this was made before the even newer articulation, he only has ankle rock here. Now, of course, this leg, it does move fairly well with the kick forward, but trying to get him to do a super kick is a little bit of a hassle, just because the one leg is stiff as shit on that rotation there. So that is kind of my only downside. But I guess with all that being said, why don't we get him posed up and we can kind of just give our final thoughts on this figure. Alrighty, you guys, now that we've got the Logan Paul all set up, we've got him set up here with our world champion in the Damn Defiant Universe, aka my pick fed. We've got Cody Rhodes. Also, just another little quick fact there, the first ever world champion too, because we are still fairly early on in our pick fed here. But this, I guess you could say, is kind of a what if scenario that could happen within the next couple of episodes. What if Logan Paul came out and accepted the open challenge, or as you know, the fans would know it, the American Nightmare open challenge of Cody Rhodes for the World Heavyweight Championship? It could be a matchup that happens. Not gonna say I would be against it, just because, well, I feel like Logan Paul having the eyes on him that he does, even if you include him in figure form in matches, it might just get you some views. You never know. But either way, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, we are just talking about the Logan Paul figure here, and what do I have to say about it? You know, for his first Elite figure, because technically we got an Ultimate Edition figure of him first, for his first Elite figure, I can definitely say this Logan Paul is pretty damn good. I do enjoy the way it looks. I do enjoy just how simplistic but yet great the attire is, just with the 3 colors. You got a nice mix of all 3 throughout the attire, even in the jacket and in the headband and in the knee pads and elbow pads. So overall, I feel like this figure is actually pretty damn well worth it. If you're a Logan Paul fan, at least for me, I'm not necessarily a Logan Paul fan per se, but Logan Paul as a wrestler, I do enjoy him at least a little bit on TV. And well, with that being said, what would I have to say about the figure on a scale of 1 to 10? Well, honestly, if it wasn't for the leg issue, I'd probably give him a good solid 8 out of 8 out of 10, maybe 7.5 out of 10. But that's just because I feel like we're missing a decent set of hands for one of the accessories in this. Plus, it probably would have been nice to get a head scan that wasn't just him screaming, whether it's him laughing or him screaming. It's just kind of sad to only get the one. Though if you really wanted to use a Logan Paul head scan with the black band, sweatband or whatever, and I feel like that worked just fine because there's plenty of black in the attire. But yeah, so with the leg thing though, it does bring it down quite a bit, and if we're gonna say 7.5, I think a good solid 7 out of 10 would definitely do just fine on the 1 to 10 scale. But on the 1 to Young Buck match, the good old Dave Meltzer star rating, I would have to say this is definitely a good solid 3 out of 5 stars, just for the 7 out of 10. And I just say that makes sense, but realistically, I don't really want to make this video too long. So with that being said, if you liked the video, feel free to like the video, and if you did not, well, womp womp, I guess. But if you did like the video, feel free to go check out some of my other action figure content, such as action figure reviews, and or we do unboxings. We also do pick fed content. We also kind of got a little miscellaneous section, I guess you could say, where I've done a full view of my wrestling action figure collection for the most part, at least the important stuff and not just fodder basic shit. But at the same time, either way, if you also could, maybe feel free to leave a like on the video if you want to. I'm just going to throw that out there one more time. But serious note though, if you guys would like to, feel free to follow me on Instagram, and or maybe feel free to follow me here on YouTube. After all, it is free to follow me here on YouTube, and you would be helping me out quite a bit as we are on the road to 350 subscribers, as well as listening to some pretty decent tunes here. I hope you guys have liked the playlist selection as of late. I thought it was a nice way to kind of tie in wrestling themes while also not getting copyrighted, and that's what you need, especially for something like this at least. Anyways, I don't think I was meant to ramble on like that. So anyways, on that note, have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I kind of forgot how I was going to do the outro, so womp womp, I guess. But have a good rest of your night, and we will see you in the next action figure review. Deuces, ooses, yeet.